Mike, man. How you feeling after last night, my friend? You doing a wellness check? Everything we doing good, or how we feeling, my friend?
Feeling all right. It was a disappointment, but feeling all right, man. At the end of the day, proud UM fan will always be. And, man, they played their hearts out, man. You can't even knock them, bro. They played their hearts out.
No, I 100% agree with you. I think that was one hell of a game. So why don't we just go ahead and jump into it, man? We have the national championship game last night, and that was one awesome game. It was a tale of two halves, man. The first half was all defense, and both teams were playing, kind of almost like the heavyweight bout. They're trying to fill each other out. Not too much that really happened in the very beginning, but that second half, man, it just went on fire, man. As a UM fan, I know you guys going into halftime. It was still in reach. How did you feel going into halftime, man?
Well, we're a better second half team for sure. So the confidence was up there. The confidence was very high, and didn't really have any doubts going into the second half. I knew we were gonna, come out swinging and punching them in the face as well. Just when the game went on, dude, like their offense is just better than ours when you put it plain and simple. I mean, Fernando Mendoza showed why he's a Heisman winner. He was throwing balls, putting them in the right spots to his guys, and while Carson Beck wasn't really doing that the whole game. For Miami's offense, it was Mark Fletcher that was really doing everything. He had 2 rushing TDs and it was like a 64-yard run that looked like kind of similarity to Derrick Henry, in my opinion. And that's it right there, dude. But when it comes to our defense, I feel like the times that we played zone with our secondary is when we really got cooked. There was a lot of times that we were playing 10 to almost 12 yards away from the receivers, and Fernando Mendoza would do a zone read. He'll keep it and he'll throw it out because he saw how far the corners were playing off of his receivers. He had like about 6 to 7 completions like that. And then what didn't help is our third down conversions. We only had 1 of 8 third down conversions the whole game. It's like, how do you expect to win a national championship like that? And then obviously leading down to the last drive where we actually had a chance to, come back and win the game. Carson Beck throws a crazy ball that looked like, I don't know what he was looking at. He was supposed to be throwing it down to the sideline and up to the touchdown area, and he threw it to the numbers and away from the receiver, and it got intercepted, and the ball game was over.
Yeah, actually, if you're looking at the on here right here, the highlights coming up here, and if you look to the defense, read exactly what he was doing. And watching it last night, you could see the one defender was able to trail back, leading the other guy to just be able to hawk the ball. So that it was just a great defensive play, I think, for Indiana in that position. They played great defense all year. They were just neck and neck, and obviously the biggest, strongest point for obviously was their defense. I believe Fletcher is one hell of an athlete, and Tony's one hell of an athlete as well. But I think the Miami Hurricanes, their biggest thing was their defense, without a doubt. And man, I was just really impressed, and I can say. And I'm hoping you're probably going to agree with. I think the U is back after this one, man. They went toe to toe with the number 1 team in the country, and it's great to have them. They had to have Miami back as a relevant team in the national championship. But you got to give credit where credit is due, man. Indiana winning their first national championship. Crazy as it is, they went 16-0. The last time that a team has done that, been undefeated as well, was Indiana in basketball. I believe it was like 1972. So Indiana, it's about time for them to finally get on the map for football as well. And I really don't think that they're going to go anywhere too. I think this isn't like a one-time thing. I think Indiana is going to be here for a little while with the NIL deals that they have going on, and just the fact of they have a hell of a coach. And they believe in the coach, and he's building one hell of a program. This is 2 years in the making. They pretty much got a bunch of transfers from JMU, and last year they came on strong. A lot of people are like, okay, this isn't going to last, and then they came back the next year undefeated. They were battle tested. They went into Penn State. They beat Oregon twice. They played some real good teams this year, and they were able to pull it out, and they deserve to be where they are. I think undoubtedly it was one hell of a year for them, and we got to get to the biggest thing as well with this too is, what do you think is going to happen with Mendoza? Is he going to be number 1 overall pick? And you saw Tom Brady on the sideline last night. He was doing a little bit of early scoping, if you will, because the Raiders have the number 1 overall pick. What's your thoughts? Is Mendoza a first overall pick?
He can be a first overall pick, but there's been rumors going around that the Raiders might trade that pick and use Max Crosby as well to try to trade, either get some picks back and try to get, more in the draft than just the number one pick overall. Try to get, move back a couple slots and try to get a second round, a third round in with it. And there's been rumors that they're trying to go for Baltimore Ravens quarterback with Lamar Jackson. So that would be something to watch for sure. But if you're asking me, is Mendoza worth the number one pick? Yes, he is. I feel like he's very poised. He's intelligent. He knows when to get to the ball to his guys. Great timing. The guy is a dog. You saw it there on that one rush TD in the national championship game. He puts his head shoulder down. He gets back up and he dives in the end zone where he got hit by two defenders. Well, he got hit by two defenders, and it looked like, his back could have been messed up. But at the end of the game, the reporter asked him, like, well, what was going through your mind after that play? And he said, oh, I'll die for my teammates. And I feel like he would. Like, he really would. So, yeah, I think he is worth the number one overall pick. Now, do I think it's smart for the Raiders to do that? Not necessarily. I think they got a lot to work on with their offensive line. Obviously, the quarterback position. I think some receiver help as well. And maybe even a little bit of the secondary on defense. But if you get number one overall pick and, you want to trade it for some assets, hey, I wouldn't be mad.
Yeah, I was talking to a friend of mine earlier as well, and it's it's a rough situation for the Raiders because the Raiders need so much help right now. And I know you don't necessarily want to pass up if you think that Mendoza is the guy and you can build around him. You don't want to pass that up. But on the other hand, too, you could possibly get a king's ransom for another team that's willing to trade up and grab him. I think Mendoza is worth that pick as well. I kind of think the Raiders would be smart in grabbing him. For something about this kid, he just strikes me as a winner. I think he's poised. He's going to kill every interview. He has a dog mentality in him. You can see it in those plays. He got his ass kicked that entire game, and you did not see any kind of him, holding his head down. He was poised the entire time and did not let the moment get too big for him. So I think that's a preview of what could be with the Raiders. That defense just clobbering him, because if he does go to the Raiders, let's face it, you nailed it right there. They need help on the offensive line. That's part of why Ashton Genty didn't have as dominant as a season as he wanted to, and Brock Bowers, he got hurt, but they need help, yes. But I think if Mendoza just proved it right there that against a NFL caliber pass rush, which I think the Miami Dolphins have, or not Miami Dolphins, excuse me, Miami Hurricanes have, that just proved it right there. And he still was able to pull it out. And he had great numbers still. His numbers weren't going to blow you off the charts, but it's the fact that he did when it mattered, he made those plays. He made the play, both the back shoulder fades to the Charlie Baker or Booker. That guy was awesome. That was very clutch moments right there. And the head coach trusted him. Also, they called the timeout they're going to send the field goal out there. And he said, I trust my guy, and sometimes you just got to take that chance. And that's what really sealed the game, I think, really was beyond the Carson Beck interception. But that momentum change right there. Miami was able to come back and score, but the game just didn't look the same after that point. That was just one of those moments that I think will live on in like college football history, just that the hits that he took and the dive, and he is from Miami. So like it was such a cool story to end the college football playoff. Ironically, Miami playing at home, and the kid is from Miami. And the whole story about how they didn't really take him on and he wanted to play for them. His parents both went to Miami. They were all Miami kids. And the whole time they were showing him in the stadium as a child. And all he wanted to do was play for Miami. And then ironically gets to steal it from Miami at the end of the year. So it was one hell of a game. But I think it's going to be very interesting coming up in the draft season, because I think it's going to just be how he tests. I think he's going to blow everybody away in the interview process. If you listen to his post games and anytime you hear him talk, he just has it. He has it all together. He seems poised and ready to go. So I think he'll be blowing away the interview process. It's just going to be what his measurables are. He's a pretty big guy, but I think I would like to see him put on a little bit more muscle. But that's going to come with the NFL.
Yeah, I mean, if he doesn't go number one to the Raiders, he's going to go number two to the Jets for sure, because obviously Dante Moore is not going to be there. He's going back to Oregon. So one or two are going to be taking quarterbacks for sure. And I'm thinking Sampson is probably going to go to the Jets if the Raiders take Mendoza. But again, if the Raiders are looking to do something with that number one overall pick, I would say try to go for Lamar Jackson for sure, or trade back and try to get a second round and a third round pick as well. Try to have two picks in each of those drafts with trading away the number one pick.
Yeah, we got plenty of time to go over that because, the draft hasn't even came out yet or anything like that. And we got plenty of time to go over all that. And we'll definitely be looking into it more. But it's just a very interesting, table conversation because it is a big thing that they're going to have to figure out. Clearly, they clearly need a quarterback, and so this is going to be very interesting to see what's going to be coming.
Geno Smith ain't it, doggy. Geno
No.
Smith ain't it, dog. And I don't even put all the
Geno
blame
Smith
on
is
him,
not
bro.
it.
I don't even put all the blame on him because when he was in Seattle, he had a great offensive line. You go to the
Correct.
Raiders, that they don't have an offensive line like that they kind of look like the New York Jets, and it's like you expect him to turn water into wine, and it's not going to happen. You need a good protection up front so you can protect your quarterback, so you can run the ball good as well. Like you said, Alton Genti was supposed to have a phenomenal rookie season, and he had a good rookie season, don't get me wrong. But it was supposed to be better for sure with stats and scoring and all that. But you need a better offensive line, man. So if you're going to draft Mendoza and put him out there with that offensive line you have, you're going to set him up for failure. So my opinion, stick it out with Geno Smith. Either trade back, try to get some assets, try to get some offensive line, try to get another receiver, something. But going with the number 1 overall pick and just choosing Mendoza, I don't know.